Good morning, everybody. Welcome to K&L Spirits Journal Week in Review, week number 3. This is the third time we've done this, and the last time we'll do it before the end of 2010. So we did the last two of our top awards of the year, which were Producer of the Year and Whiskey of the Year, and both honors went to Compass Box and John Glazer, who we thought gave us the best products of 2010, including his fantastic Flaming Heart whiskey, which was the blend of Clynelish, Caol Ila, and Tobermory. It really has that kind of oily and smoky flavor to it, which for me is pretty much the creme de la creme of whiskey. So in talking to John Glazer about this, he agreed to be the first interview for our new whiskey interview podcast that will be starting next month. So look forward to that and some interesting conversations. Over Christmas Eve, I also took all the samples of Four Roses that I've been given over the last year when we're selecting our single barrel whiskeys, and I mixed them into a cuvee. And I've been reading articles lately about bars in London that have been taking cocktails, mixing them, and then putting them into glass demijohns to age for months and let the flavors consolidate. So I would imagine that we're going to see people playing around with blending different distilleries with bourbon and cocktails very soon. One thing I really enjoyed this last week was getting to finally taste the De Leon family tequilas. They're only available for distribution in the South right now. David's been bringing them in via the LA store. They're not inexpensive. They're done by a small family distillery and way up in the Jalisco Highlands. High altitude agave, very clean flavors, very tasty, and they should all be available in the Redwood City store next week. Out on the town this week was where more of the action was. Not a whole lot going on the stores, so I decided to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art yesterday, where you can get this lovely Mondrian cake and amongst other things. But the interesting exhibit going on there right now is alcohol related, and they had a When Wine Became Modern exhibit, which sounds maybe not so interesting, but actually was very interesting. Basically, it's a visual representation of terroir and how it works and why it's important. As you can see here, they have little aromatic squeezes where they have wines that exhibit different flavors, and you can squeeze the air up into your nose. They also had a breakdown of terroir. You can see here was the Germany, and they had the slate, and they had the limestone from the Loire, and overall, just if you didn't know a lot about wine, or even if you do, it was very interesting. Great artful displays with the bottles and information about flavors and grapes and where they come from and how it all fits together and why terroir is important. We had a good time. Finishing that night off by going to our favorite bars to get holiday drinks. This was the new Mexican hot chocolate that is on the menu now at the Slanted Door. It's made with 2 types of dark chocolate, cocoa powder, cinnamon, a giant marshmallow floating in the middle, and then plenty of reposado tequila. That was made by Jennifer Colliau and Eric Atkins at the Slanted Door. After drinking our fill there, we walked over to Bar Agricole, where they're doing the milk punch, which is basically the eggnog recipe that I was giving you earlier, although they were able to make it much better than I was, which is 1 whole egg, some milk, and sugar shaken up at first. And then you add a little bit of brandy and some Jamaican rum. You shake it again with crushed ice, and then you strain it into a cocktail glass. You want to make sure that you shake the milk and the egg and sugar by itself, because you want that egg yolk to break down and to get all frothy before you decide to put the rest of the alcohol in. Anyways, Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.